Good morning, everybody, and guess what? I have something awesome to show you. That's right, the DJI Mavic Air. Wait, what? Didn't I just post a video last week trashing the Mavic Air? Actually, no, I didn't. I did post a video where I was kind of ranting about the fact that DJI chose to make a third drone to try to squeeze into their lineup, and product confusion and naming and pricing and all that. But I reserved my judgment until I could actually get my hands on the thing and see how well it functions just as a drone itself, regardless of what it's named and how it's marketed. That being said, let's dig into this thing and take a look at what's included and a first impressions from a drone veteran. So with as most DJI products, it looks like it's pretty well packaged. So one of the first things I noticed right when I took everything out of the box is the controller. You can see here that the sticks are removable this time. And speaking of controllers, no, you cannot use the Mavic controller on the Mavic Air because it uses a completely different transmission system, nor can you use the Spark controller. You have to use the Mavic Air controller. The set that I'm opening up here retails for $7.99. It comes with the drone itself, the controller, a battery, some cables and chargers, and stuff like that. So in this box here are the prop guards, which they recommend you use if you're going to use the gesture control, but personally, some more props. That is handy. Not going to throw those away. A bunch of manuals and booklets and all that. DJI Care Refresh. I'm a little torn on this. You can pay extra to have this insurance, and it may or may not replace your drone if it flies away, you break it, or do something stupid. Alright, well that's it for this box. So now there's this little bit smaller box. Oh. We've got the charger here for charging the battery. It looks very similar to the charger for the Mavic Pro and the Spark, but guess what? It's not going to work on either of those either. This is only going to work with Mavic Air batteries. You also get this nice looking USB-C cable, which I'm assuming is how you connect the drone to your computer. It looks like a micro USB to USB-C connector and some extra control sticks. We'll take a look at those in a minute. And these crappy little 90-degree connectors for the controller. So now let's take a look at the controller itself. It resembles the Spark controller and the Mavic Pro controller pretty close. However, you might notice that the Mavic Pro controller has this little digital readout screen where this does not. So taking a closer look at the controller, it works a lot like the Mavic controller does. The antennas flip up and rotate, and these bottom arms swing out like that so that you can put your phone in there. Now, I did see in some of the initial reviews that they've widened this opening here so that you could stick phones in there with their cases still on, which sounds like a great idea. But I have a Galaxy S8 Plus with a pretty thin case on it. Let's try it. Yeah, this thing feels even smaller than the Mavic one. And as you can see, with a thin case on the S8 Plus, still doesn't fit. So now let's get down to these kind of cool removable thumbsticks here for the controller. You can see just on the underside here, there's these little slots that you can store the sticks in, which is pretty cool, but I would also be worried about maybe them falling out. I hike with my Mavic a lot, and I like the fact that they're removable, but I'm not so sure about this type of solution here. Take the stick out. It threads in pretty easy. And it's just like how you would expect it to be with the Mavic and Spark. Now it's time to take a look at the drone itself. And it comes with this neat kind of little padded zipper pouch here. And let's bust this open and take a look at the drone. Oh man. Wow. I've seen a lot of reviews of this thing already online, but it's a lot smaller in person. And I really like the sleek look. With the trusty old Mavic, you can kind of tell it's a first gen product. It's kind of spindly and insectile looking. But the Mavic Air really kind of looks like a sports car. In fact, this thing right here kind of reminds me of an Audi R8 or something. Alright, so it looks like it kind of flips out in a similar fashion that the Mavic did. The back feet fold down and out. And the front arms just fold straight out. And man, that is tiny. And compared to the Mavic Pro, compared to my S8 Plus, and a can of soda. Okay, so taking a look at the bottom of this thing, here are the downward sensors and cameras. Up front you have the front facing crash avoidance, and what's new with this guy that's different from the Mavic Pro and the Spark are the rear crash avoidance sensors. And similar to the Spark, the battery does fit on the bottom of this thing. However, it has these little latches here that help latch the battery in place, slide them out, exposes that red patch right there so you know if it's locked or not, and flips up. To put the battery back in, you slide the back end in first, drop it down, give it a press. Fits nice and snug. I don't see that falling out in flight or anything like that. Alright, and on the front here is the camera. This new redesigned gimbal cover, it clips out and flips up. That's pretty easy. I've seen some of those professional reviewers kind of badmouthing that. It doesn't get much easier than this, dude. Seriously. And to put it back on, it's not rocket science either. Slip it over, clip it down, bingo. Another cool feature of this thing, and I hit on this when I did my review of the Mavic over a year ago, is the landing gear. These ones, they flip out. Like that. And that holds the camera up off the ground, and also the Wi-Fi antennas are contained in these little feet right here too. And they do flip out, but they feel pretty sturdy too. So I can't really see those being much of a problem about breaking or anything like that. Unless maybe you crash. So now if we open up the back of this thing, you see here, that's where the micro SD card goes and the USB-C connection is. You also see right here this reverse kind of hood scoop looking thing. It really is functional. There's a fan in there that helps the cooling system of the drone. Another thing I really like about this is that when you open it up and you take a look at the three-way camera here, I like that the gimbal is kind of recessed behind the body of the drone. You can see here it sits underneath and back a bit. The one thing that always concerned me about the Mavic is it's got this big, expensive, sensitive gimbal here just dangling right out front from a couple rubber bands, completely and totally exposed. And it does look like they took a lot of people's primary concerns and complaints with the Mavic Pro and the Spark and did a really good job of addressing all of those issues and putting it into an all-new package. Now, I did say I was a drone veteran, and I've been flying drones for a couple years now, and I've flown dozens of drones, and I've owned more than I care to admit, and I have hundreds of hours of flying different ones. Now, I had the Phantom 3 Advanced before I bought my Mavic Pro, and I'm a hiker and an outdoors enthusiast, and so carting something like the Phantom just wasn't feasible. So when the Mavic came out, it really was a game changer. So naturally, something like the Mavic Air, which is even smaller, is pretty intriguing. I'm going to spend a week or two playing with it and see if it can earn its place in my backpack. And also, apart from being a YouTuber, I also am a member of a lot of different online drone communities, and I see millions of people asking all kinds of questions about the Mavic Air. But I want to hear yours too. So if you have any questions that you want me to look into, feel free to leave a comment down there and tell me what it is you want me to check out, and I'll do my best to do it. And of course, as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you very soon. I've got a lot more Mavic Air videos coming up very soon.